Hi everyone, I'm Megha Gupta, and today I'll be discussing Shelley's Frankenstein, Volume 2, Chapters 3 and 4. Before I begin, I'd like to pose a question for you to maybe think about during my presentation. Nature versus nurture. Is parental guidance important in a person's or being's development? All right, now let's get into analysis of chapters 3 and 4, where we finally get to see everything from the creature's perspective. We start with this quote, where we read about the creature coming into this world, and I immediately compared it to how a child is born into the world. The first thing he needs is his mother or a parental figure, and since Victor abandons him, he's forced to find a substitute mother figure. He fulfills this desire by going to nature, and this is seen by how he describes the moon. The repeated references to pleasure and security and guidance that the moon provides to the creature, and the way that the moon is the only object that the creature could distinguish, suggests that he has made the moon his substitute mother, and now he's gone to nature to give him the protection and the home that he needs to survive. And we see that nature does a pretty good job of giving him these basic survival skills. Nature provides him with food and water and protection from the trees. And we also see this with the fire, right? Um, he learns an important lesson where he originally hurts himself by sticking his hand through the fire, but he quickly learns how he can use fire to his advantage and keep him warm all night. This experience is one of the few that begins his quest for human knowledge. However, is nature really able to provide him with enough? We see that the creature starts to long for more, especially when he comes across a village with people. The monster feels these emotions that he hasn't ever experienced before while observing these villagers. The more he monitors the family, the more he hungers for a family of his own. He desires a companion, a relationship, and for example, after realizing that this family suffers from poverty, he realizes that he shouldn't steal from them. And he actually starts to help them with daily chores. He learns their language and how the people are speaking. And we see that his desire for education and wanting to learn about them, it develops significantly. After a while of observing them, he even gains hope that they would accept him, and that makes him very, very happy. That's what we end with the chapter 4, that he is so excited for this possibility of a new family. One thing we have to think about, though, is that he is restricted first by his appearance, but also his lack of societal norms, which is something that Victor could have taught him, right? He went into this house randomly, causing the people to flee. Under parental guidance, he would have been taught how to interact with others. The question is if this would have even helped at all, right? Or if the creature would have been rejected at first sight just because of his appearance, anyways. So, for a quick conclusion, again, we're going to come back to the main question. Is parental guidance important in a person's or being's development? What is the influence of the parent's role in a child's life? Personally, I think it may be safe to assume that nature, while very important, will not be able to aid in a being's or a child's development as much and as properly as a guardian or a role model could. It may be able to help with, the basic needs and the wants and desires, but it's not going to be able to teach everything. Another question is, why do you think Shelley includes the creature's perspective? And question 3 is, what is it about nature that gives it the role or power that it has? In this story, nature is given such a big role, essentially a mother's role, right? We see that the creature is given up by his would-be guardian, so he turns to nature to give him and teach him what he needs to know. And the last quick note before I leave, I would like to point out something interesting that I noticed about the creature and how the creature's desire for friendship and education is reflective of Mary Shelley's personal values, which actually also oppose those of Frankenstein. For Frankenstein, we see that human relationships are just a matter of convenience. They are set aside in his quest for power, right? And when he spent so long working on his project, he puts it all aside, all his family and his friends. Maybe that's something else for you to think about after this reading. Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great day. Bye.